So now the dangerous part is going to be when we go to leave the garage. So this is the dangerous part right now. Alright, we're all good. But yeah, I wasn't too worried because if I went to sleep and they broke down the door right in front of me, we would wake up and they'd still have to get around the Jeep, or the truck. Not that they couldn't, but I felt pretty comfortable that if it was like a horde or something, I'd just immediately run for the door and exit the door real fast. Hey, give me 1 second, I'll get you a shout out. Thank you for that raid. Give me just a moment. So thank you for the follow. Let's see, XCY Stance, Strika, welcome to the stream, and thank you for that raid. Let me get you a shout out. Existence, Strika. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. My apologies. Playing yourself some Project Zomboid as well. So how was your stream? Hopefully, the only deaths were the zombies, and if not, hopefully at least had fun and maybe learned something. Air activity detected. We have a helicopter coming, so perfect timing for that raid. Because we're going to put up a prediction, as we do with every single one of these, on whether or not we survive the helicopter. So to give you the rules of us surviving the helicopter, from this moment, right now, until the helicopter comes by and leaves, and we go to sleep and wake up. If I take an injury that ultimately gets us killed, then we did not survive the helicopter. Even if it takes like a day or two for zombie infection to knock us down. If we suffered it between now and going to sleep, then, you know, that would count as a death. Now, if we do go to sleep after the helicopter leaves and we wake up and we're perfectly fine, then we've survived. To give context, we are playing on the absolute maximum population that Project Zomboid supports. However, we have respawns turned off, multiple helicopters, obviously, and we have cleared most of Riverside at this point. I do anticipate we'll probably get hit pretty hard by the zombies, but probably not too awful. And Existence says, it's all good using this handle for 20 years. 10 people have ever gotten it completely right. Fair enough. I know that feeling as someone who the way the name is pronounced I have is Rural Storage. I hear Rual very often. Even worse, I hear Rural Storage very often. None of those are right. But thank you for the follow. Expletive deleted 89. Welcome to the stream. And so Existence says, yeah, Zomboid multiplayer was fun. Sadly, I gotta run. Gotta get sleep before work. Stay safe, friend. Leaving a lurk. Thank you for the follow. Barakus666. Welcome to the stream. I feel like I mispronounced that. If I did, please correct me and I'll try and do better in the future. But yeah. So, it's all that. Judging by the time we got our alert. Oh, look. Points. Excellent. So, judging by when we got that alert for the air activity, there is a good chance we won't actually see the helicopter till 2 or 3 in the afternoon in-game. That said, who knows? Hi, friend. Bye, friend. So for the record, as I was saying, in this playthrough, we are playing at the absolute maximum zombies that Project Zomboid supports. It wouldn't seem like it by what you're seeing around here, but keep in mind, we are at 40,582 zombie kills, so we've killed a few zombies. Just a few. To give you an idea how many zombies we've killed, we have nothing that affects loot in any way or items or anything, and we have found 21 katanas so far, and that's with default apocalypse setting, which is like rare loot or something like that. Like we didn't up our loot, we didn't give ourselves any type of unfair advantages or anything like that. You also notice, well, not always, we are one-shotting with the crowbar at a reasonable cadence. But yeah, so we've done that. Our character has been alive for 9 months, 11 days, and 2 hours. With our current settings with the helicopters, we usually run into somewhere in the ballpark of 2 to 3 helicopters per month. So that gives you an idea of how many helicopters we've dealt with. It's somewhere in the area of like 18 to 27 helicopters now, so I couldn't tell you how they've gone. We have not taken a single zombie hit that I can think of. We have suffered 2 injuries, but both of those injuries were turning and burning away from a situation where we would get ourselves hurt, tripping and scratching a knee kind of thing. So not zombie injuries, but injuries because of zombies. But yeah, we are hoping to be able to declare Riverside cleared today. As you can see, we've basically been all over Riverside. We've killed all the zombies we've seen. There are the occasional zombies that are like up in the bathrooms and that. But we've generally been honking our horns, making a colossal noise and all that kind of stuff to try and draw out as many zombies as we can. Because of the nature of this playthrough, where we have just such a ludicrous number of zombies, I will have to constantly go back to places I've cleared. And then, do a lap, honking my horn, that kind of thing. Just because you have zombies migrate and redistribute back into places we've cleared. So basically just make it a point that once we've declared... Oh, zombie back there. Once we've declared a place cleared, we just make it a point every other month or so to just pop in, make a bunch of noise, see what shakes out, kill them all. Expletive deleted says, there was one time so far I deleted by a neck wound, and right before I died, I remember I have a bandage, dies... as a... Yeah. I've also done the thing where it's like, okay, I have an adhesive bandage, you slap that on your neck, you got a neck laceration, no problem, adhesive bandage, you're good, and you go, oh, our bandage is dirty, let me just take, oh wait, I didn't have a spare bandage, and you can't reuse an adhesive, so it's like, oh, well, it's a shame I can't rip my clothes in time before I bleed out from this neck laceration. I've done that one. Which, for the record, if you have that, you toss something on your neck, even if it gets like as dirty can be and infected, that's fine. That's better than taking it off and then bleeding out. Like, honestly, non-zombie infection, like regular bacterial infection in this game, pretty meaningless. It slows down how fast you heal, otherwise our penalties are effectively not worth noticing. Yeah, it's become a bit of a joke about, like, them going for the groin. Like, one of the other people who I raid from time to time, and has raided me from time to time, is Inverse Flux. Excellent stream. But it's become a joke that he doesn't wear pants in his stream, because every time he wears pants, he gets bit in the groin. Usually, honestly, most of my deaths have been, like, getting my fingers nibbled on. Not always. We've had the occasional, like, groin hit or whatever, but we've had a number of times I've lost fingers. Or lost 2 fingers. I guess you don't technically lose them. It's not RimWorld. Yet. Right, I think I am going to return to the initial plan for today, before we knew the helicopter's coming, which is I'm going to go around this block, see if we have any zombies over there that are meaningfully shown up. Kill all that, then we'll circle around, and just like basically down to this main drag. Basically we're looking for any reasonable representation of zombies in the area that, we'll just kill, because the whole point is to kill them all, so... I know there's a couple of hordes in like the backyards and that. I'm kind of just hoping with the helicopter they'll be brought out, because I don't like having to walk back in the backyards. You have crap visibility up there. And that's, you know, an equation for disaster. I'd much rather draw them out to where I have plenty of visible space and everything where I can just fight them straight on. Yeah, it's not RimWorld yet. I mean, there's been talk for a long time about them potentially adding the ability to, like, if you get bit in the arm or something, to amputate your own arm to, you know, spare yourself the zombie plague. It hasn't happened, but... Yep, I think there's a mod that does it. I have no idea how good it is, but I believe there's a mod for it. But there was talk of that being a main game concept. I don't know whatever happened to that, though. If like that's still in the plans or what. Because right now in the game, you can only attack with your right arm. No such thing as a left-handed player in this game. So as you can imagine, we've actually got pretty good skills at 9 months. I'll actually go ahead and pull those up. Oh, I need to lift that higher. I'm in the way. Okay, so as you can see, and to clarify, we start this character as what I refer to 0 to hero. When I start, it's weak, obese, unfit, slow healer. So we start with 0 fitness, 0 strength, 0 combat skills, 0 anything. No, this whole skills tab is completely devoid of any color other than black and gray. So, to say we've come a long way is to say we've come a long way. And if you're curious about how we got so much fitness and strength, we kill a lot of zombies. We kill a lot of zombies. Like, this isn't even in the top 5 zombie corpse piles we've had this run. It's top 10, but not top 5. The biggest corpse pile we had was just down the main drag of Riverside about a month and a half ago in game. Still trying to get the hang of combat in this game? Excellent. Couple things that will help you out is always be backing away from the zombies when you're swinging. Don't I'll stand still sometimes. It's probably a bad habit, honestly. And the reason for that is if I flat out miss and I'm moving away, there's a good chance I will simply step out of the way of the zombie's grab when it follows up. Gotcha. So a couple points. My advice to all new players is the very first thing, you slow down, like you don't need to rush. Like you notice, this zombie, I can walk all day. Unless I'm like super overburdened or super exerted or super sleepy, I am fast in this zombie, it will never catch me. Once I'm over like Nimble 2, even if I don't do that, I forgot, I'm over Nimble 5 now, so I'm just faster. What I was going to demo is when you're over Nimble 2, the zombie will start the grab animation. You move fast enough, you get out of range of the grab animation so long as you don't swing. Or again, you're not exerted, you're not sleepy, you're not any of that stuff. So like, take your time. This isn't Left 4 Dead where you go ham on the zombies, running around, going as fast as you can. You can go and just walk. No need to run. About the only time you'll ever, like, my sprinting right now is 1 on this character. All those other skills, super high, sprinting's 1. The only time I sprint is 1, and when I say sprint, I'm talking jogging. 1, if I have a path that there's a zombie in a way and I don't have an alternative, I will run at the zombie, because here, I'll demonstrate this one. If this zombie's in the way and I run at it, I'll shove it out of the way. So you see, I just kind of knock him out of the way. So that's a good thing to know if you're ever like cornered in a bathroom by a zombie or two. I will warn you, once you hit like 2 and 3 zombies and you try and shove your way through, you will trip, you will eat dirt, and that can get you killed. Because, you know, if you fall down next to a zombie, bad things happen. Another pro tip is now I've shoved this zombie over, I'm only fighting one zombie. As long as I'm standing on this zombie, it's pinned down, it is not a threat to me. The only exception being if it's a crawler, don't stand on crawlers, they'll bite your ankles. See? Excellent. And that's also true if another zombie is standing on top of a zombie. You've effectively taken that zombie out of the fight. If you are getting yourself close to exertion, and you got a short blade with you other than the meat cleaver, you can switch to that short blade. Alright, so we do have the helicopter here. I think I'll deal with the helicopter up in this area. It's like right over here. But if you do get low on stamina, having hunting knives and stuff like that on hand is really good. Because you do want to avoid moderate exertion as much as, well, exertion in general, as much as possible. Getting to moderate exertion is not like a small 5 or 10% damage penalty. It's like 20-30%. It is severe. And each level higher exertion is even worse. So if you just get to the point, like you'll see I keep this up here because 1, I like it, and then 2, it helps to explain this. If you see when I start getting my fatigue close to the point I'm going to hit moderate exertion, you'll see me put away whatever weapon I'm using as like my main weapon and always pull out a hunting knife. Because sure, the hunting knife as far as like raw damage and range is much lower than a lot of other weapons. It still gets the job done, and it uses almost no stamina to the point I can actually recharge stamina while fighting with it. And that keeps me out of moderate exertion where I would get that 30% damage penalty. Like there's the switch off right there. Like I said, you notice I try and be backing up right when I go for the stab. And that's again, if I were to just completely miss, I'm already moving away from the zombie. So the chance of it actually grabbing me is, you know, going to be way lower. And as best I can, I try to keep the zombies on one side of me when I'm fighting. Sometimes you don't get that choice. It's very dangerous to fight with zombies on either side of you, because easy to lose track. Another thing that can help is there's a trait called keen hearing. You'll notice that like the bright area that I can see behind me, like keen hearing makes that bigger. Being able to see farther behind you will save your life so many times. And I am hopping in the car just to recover stamina. Oh yeah, it is tricky. Like I actually like their tutorial. Don't get me wrong, there's so much it leaves out, and I get it. They're changing the game so much. So it's very difficult. And it is one of the problems that you run into a lot of games that are complex as Project Zomboid, that they will make their tutorial, and it's just, oh no, like look at, you know, you have that tutorial that's like a 3-4 hour tutorial. It's because like, here is how you eat food, here is how you drink stuff, here is how you farm, here is how you carpentry, here's how you do that. Or they do the obnoxious thing where you're playing the game and you pick up a nail and the whole game like locks and it brings up this chapel. It's like, you just found a nail. With a nail, you can build shelves and floors and other stuff with the carpentry skill, which can be accessed by having a screwdriver, a hammer, and a saw, right-clicking and choosing. And it's like, please stop. I'll figure it out. I'll find a tutorial. Please just stop interrupting my game. Because it'll always happen, like, you'll grab the nail, you'll hear the zombie coming up behind you, and then it'll pop up while you're sitting there, like, staring at the zombie. And you're just holding shift and away going, please, tutorial, let me go. Just let me go. Yeah, they can also have tutorials that are good where it's like, okay, you are playing the game, but it's designed to teach you mechanic one at a time. But that's still a game with much, much shallower depth. Yeah. I think with as few zombies as we're seeing, once this is out of here, we're going to do that main drag like I said. And we're almost at the point of ready to call Riverside clear. And again, we don't worry about having literally every zombie dead to call them clear in this one. Just because between migrations and redistributions and all those mechanics, I am going to be back into this town. Like once every 2 months we'll do a day where we roll through, kill anything that shows up. Make a bunch of noise. Oh yeah, I love the thing where it's like, to use the antidote, press Q, and your character yells, I'm like, that is the trolliest thing ever, and I love it. Because it also feels very much like the actual game of Project Zomboid, where you do one thing and it's just like, yeah, that one mistake, you know, the one stupid thing you did that you know better, it's just like, oh, well, I guess I die. And well, we have a zombie behind us. We quit the fight, turn around, get around it, and then go back to it. And the one thing I don't like about having that fence there that protects me from the zombies from that side is you hear the zombies making all the noise back there, and it makes me think there's a zombie north of me that I have to be worried about dodging around in a second. Yeah, I did find the tutorials very scripted. My wife was trying to do stuff that's like very clearly you should be able to do, but the tutorial just, you know, it's not part of the tutorial, so it's like, well, I guess I just can't. Oh, and where you see where we're crazy, we don't have zombie infection. We have not known the touch of zombie. We're just standing in a whole bunch of decaying bodies. It makes you sick after a while. That is actually the closest we've come to death previously. I was around so many bodies, we got to full-on fever. And we got dropped down to about 10% health before we managed to get under control by basically stripping down everything that could possibly create heat on our body, shoveling a bunch of ice cream into our mouth, and just trying to get away from the bodies as rapidly as possible. Oh yes. So if you see where in the upper right I have the little sad green face, that's saying I'm queasy. My character's just, they're a little warm. They're not feeling too good. There's lots of decaying flesh around them. That'll eventually move up to nausea, and from nausea it'll move to sick, and from sick it'll move to fever, and fever is life-threatening. That's why you do not sleep with rooms, you know, do not sleep in rooms with zombies in them. Like the corpses of zombies, obviously. Like live zombies will absolutely eat your face. So, like, if you kill a zombie in a bedroom, take the time to remove the zombie from the bedroom. Yeah, this is the power of the short blade. Like, if I was using anything but short blade right now, we would be so beyond exerted that we would have nothing left to give to the fight. But we're using a short blade, so stamina is an irrelevant mechanic that we don't care about. Not really. You just get away with a lot. It's one reason you'll see that I almost always have like 10 hunting knives on me. At our skill level, hunting knives do 2 to 3 tap to kill a zombie. Unless I'm exerted or sleepy or whatever. At which point it doesn't matter what weapon you use, it takes entirely too many hits. And where I keep turning around and hitting the zombie as I walk by and like circling around him, that actually is probably something I shouldn't be doing. It is a little risky because it's just way more likely that you'll miss. But Dr. Ellen Ennis believes in death, and death must come rapidly to all those around her. I think the helicopter's buggered off finally. Usually it does 2 to 3 passes. It can do just 1, it can do 4. But 2 to 3 passes is kind of what you see the most. Oh yeah. I thought they did a pretty good job when they set up multiplayer where it's just like, hey, these are the mods loaded on the server. Both to notify you that, like, hey, you know, if you don't like any of these mods, the server has them, so just FYI. Switch our water bottles because we finished the first one. Gotta get all sweaty and gross. Hang on, I'm putting my fish away. We're probably going to go back into being slightly overweight by the time I finish these fish, or they'll just rot away before I get through them all. Both are highly possible. And our stamina is recovered enough, so back to the crowbar. And our stamina's low again, so we're back to the knife. Hey, you hiding in the trees. Don't do that. That's not fun. Trees are the real enemy. Stabby, stabby. Oh, and putting food in bowls just makes the food better than if you don't put it in a bowl. It doesn't make sense, but you know, it is what it is. Give me a moment. I'm currently standing at my desk and I'm going to switch it back to sitting. Oh yeah, presentation is huge on food. Anyways, so like I said, even though normally I'm wrapping up my stream well before now, just because we're so close to having Riverside clear, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do one more day, well, one more trip to Riverside to clear it out. That way, the next stream, which is tomorrow at 5 p.m. EST to roughly 4 a.m. EST, we can just start pushing for the next town, which will be Rosewood. So the plan for this is I'm going to go and circle through this back area. I'm going to go up here, up and around and down the main drag of Riverside, killing what we see. And when that's all said and done, we declare Riverside cleared. And we find our next target. And like I said, there will still be some zombies straggling around in here. We'll have migrations and redistributions and all that crap that'll bring zombies back. It's fine. We'll be back like every 2 months or so. Do a lap, honk our horn, do all that crap. Yes, that does include the prison. And for those who go to ask, we do intend on clearing the redacted base that, you know, is to the southwest there in the woods. I don't know when I'm going to do it, mostly because, like, I'm not worried about the base itself, honestly. The base itself I feel very little concern over with what we've been doing. Now, the road to the base, there's a secret place southwest of Rosewood. But, we are going to go down there. Singular, but yes. But, we are going to go there. It's just, it's got a dirt road to it, and because we're 9+ months later, by the time we get over there, it'll probably be a year after we started the game, so far as in-game year. That poor dirt road is going to be more trees than road. So, skulking about in the woods, like thick tree woods and all that, that part scares me. Like, legitimately, that is a very concerning and scary thing for me in the game, as it's extremely dangerous. Yeah, it's the trees. 100% it's the trees that scare me, because it'll be like the one zombie sitting in the trees as I try and hack down the trees to either A, get a vehicle through, which ideally I'd like to, or B, I have to walk through the trees, which is even sketchier. So, I don't even know how I want to approach that. Like, that to me, like, the two things in this game, I'm like, these are the two places that this run are going to be the hardest, is Louisville, just because it's going to be a monstrosity with entirely too many zombies and so much, like, there's just no way to tackle it, because, like, there's one way in, one way out kind of thing. So I just have to deal with it. So that's going to be rough just because sheer numbers, and it's going to be an absolute attrition battle. And then just, you know, the secret base. Is this the best one to go through that dirt road? Honestly, the car that's like best or worst, I'm not too worried about. Because it's not really the dirt road that's the problem, it's the trees in the dirt road and how you can't see around them. So I have to get the trees out of the way so I can fit the car through. And most of the cars are around the same rough size so far as width, which is the thing I'm more concerned about. So I'm going to have to keep getting out of my car and chopping down trees. Which, chopping down trees is super exhausting. And then on top of that, it's loud, and there's going to be zombies in those trees. Oh yeah, and with the zombie pops we're talking, like, what I might even do is just clear out some trees, back out, start yelling a whole bunch, honking my horn, dragging like, go until we see no zombies for a long time, then cut down some more trees, repeat the process, like, it'll take absolutely forever to get back there. Which is one of the other reasons why I'm like, okay, maybe I want that to be one of the last things I do, is just dealing with it. Because, like, places like the mall, it's like, okay, you're scared of that, right? It's an absurd number of zombies. Like, yeah, but we're already fighting an absurd number of zombies. It just means I take a more gradual process about it. That's fine. The base to the southwest. The secret base. But that'll be later. I mean, sure. I actually don't ever do burns. So when you see, like, I've cleared out the entire city at the maximum zombie pop, I have gone through and slapped each and every one of these zombies with a knife or a crowbar or something like that. Like, granted, technically, I've probably killed somewhere in the area of 20 zombies with car, unintentionally, just, you know, can't see in the dark, zombie wanders in the road. Or, you know, you clip a zombie driving by it, like that kind of thing. Yeah, so you notice how it's taking me so much longer to kill everything? That's just how much of effect Drowsy has. Like, we just barely touched into Drowsy, and all of a sudden it's taking us like 5 and 6 hits to kill a zombie. Like, exerted, Drowsy, stuff like that, those are absolutely no joke. Your negative moodles you do not want. Did they break down that door? It looks like they broke down the door. Pretty sure they broke down the door. Which is a real bummer if they broke down the door. Either that or left it open. I'm hoping I left it open. I did leave it open. That's very convenient. Yeah, there's zombie over there breaking the window. Trying to keep as many zombies away. You can actually like enable PvP right now. Honestly, I feel like this is actually not a good game for PvP, just in my opinion. The cost of death is just way too high. Like, the progression in the game is way too rough. Like, to me, this is not a good PvP game. And like, the only way I'd even agree to playing PvP in this game is if it was like outright, that was just the lay of the land. You know, Hunger Games-esque, you drop in, it is game on time, Battle Royale game on time kind of thing. If it's more like Rust, like, I would have no, like, I would never play this in that kind of PvP. It's like Rust, except death, the consequences are extraordinarily severe. Okay, I think we've killed most of the zombies here right now. Yeah, and the combat system in this game is not great for PvP. But yeah, you can already mark it so that you can hurt other players and effectively do PvP. It's just, generally speaking, the game is not well designed for PvP. Alright, so it's time to sleep. Once I get another bulletfish, let's see. Just amazed how many still lurk about after all the clearing you've done around. Yep, and that's probably going to be for almost ever. Just because of how many, like, we estimate there's something like 900,000 zombies on the map that we can at least guarantee. with the possibility of being as many as like 1.2 million, because that number from the 900,000 comes from before the Louisville update. So we don't actually know what the new number is, but yeah. Okay.